How do you launch or scale or dominate the knowledge industry? One step at a time, one new capability, one thing implemented, a culture of progress, being a better version of you today than you were yesterday. I still attend workshops and masterminds, and self-education has been the thing that shifted my life forever, so I never stop learning. If you're not climbing, you're sliding. But there's a couple of things I like to do to make sure it sticks. Monday is not the end. Monday is the beginning, right? That's one of my favorite lines from Tony. Life happens for us, not to us. And is this the end or the beginning? Those things, I share those in my head all the time, those two. So how do we help anchor in right now that Monday is your new beginning? Whether that's launching, the confidence to go in and do it, whether that's scaling, or taking the business that's already doing well to a whole nother level. How do we make sure that's the beginning? So a couple quick things. One, I want you to remember that all change can happen like Kaizen. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's a really weird analogy because I don't think anybody eats elephants. But how do you, how do you run a 1,000-mile race? One step at a time. How do you launch or scale or dominate the knowledge industry? One step at a time, one new capability, one thing implemented, a culture of progress, being a better version of you today than you were yesterday, not trying to do it all overnight. And I always tell this silly little story, but I love analogies and I hope this sticks. It's silly, but think of a farmer. If he gets up every single day, and every day he gets on his tractor, he puts hay on the back of the tractor and he drives a mile out into the field, and he takes the hay off and gives it to the cows. That's his morning routine. He does it every single day. If he did that long enough and daily enough, he'd have to get up in the morning, put the hay on, put it on the tractor. Literally, at one point, he could start the tractor, put it in drive, and let go of the wheel, because over time, what happens? You build ruts. And I don't mean you're in a rut of your life, but you have a hypnotic rhythm. I would bet to say maybe before COVID, there was a hypnotic rhythm of your life. Maybe it was good, maybe it was okay, maybe it was horrible, but you got up. You got up at a certain time, right? You ate a certain thing, you had a coffee, you had a green drink, you meditated, you didn't, you stressed, you look at your phone, you didn't, you got in the car, got in the shower, drove to your office, did a certain thing, right? It's a hypnotic rhythm. To this farmer, it was simply getting in his tractor, putting it in drive, the hay on the back, and goes. And what I believe happens sometimes is that we don't realize that we let go of the wheel of life. Right? The farmer puts it in drive, puts it and just sits back, and it takes him out to where the cows are. He drops the hay. Okay, let me go back. He goes back and does his thing. Now, if you're here, that shows me you want something different. If you were okay with putting the hay on, starting it, putting it in drive, letting go of the wheel, and just going where you go every single day of your life, if you love that, there are plenty other things you could be doing on this Friday. You're here because you want to move away from something that's not perfect, or you recognize there's something in your life that needs to change, or life's okay, but you know there's more. You're meant for more. Like Trent said and everybody else said, there's another level of potential for you. So you want to not be in those ruts. You don't want to be in a hypnotic rhythm. You consciously want to get out of that to do something more, something bigger. But here's the problem. Like New Year's resolutions sometimes, if you look at this like, oh, I need to change everything in my life. Monday has got to be completely different. That's what overwhelms you. And that's why New Year's resolutions don't work. Because people write down all these crazy things they're going to change, and nothing does. So how do we shift that? How do we change that? This is why I want you to think about this farmer. So the farmer, really beating this farmer story up, I know it, but I hope this analogy's landing, is going out in the field the same place every day. What if that farmer got up tomorrow morning and didn't cut the wheel a 180 and say, the hell with those cows, the hell with being a farmer, I'm going over here. But that farmer just got up and cut the wheel just a quarter of an inch. Just a quarter of an inch. Took the wheel, like it's in the ruts, and he's like, I'm going out of the ruts a quarter of an inch. You know, if he went 20 feet, he might be a little bit off track. But he goes 100 feet, a quarter of a mile, a half a mile out into the field, he can't even recognize where he started. So I want you to take that with you Each one of the capabilities you're going to learn that you write down in the journal that you got and you star it or you circle it, each one of those is a little shift of the wheel. They don't all have to be done at night. If you try to eat an elephant at one time, if you try to just sprint and think of the whole 1,000-mile race, it's 1,000 miles, oh my God. But you could take your first step, and you could take your second step, and you could take your third. And whether that's your step of starting, launching, or scaling, I want you to take this momentum and Monday be your beginning.
Hey, it's Dean, and I had to jump in here real quick and make sure you're already registered for the Own Your Future Challenge. What? If you're not, you got to go to ownyourfuturechallenge.com right now and reserve your free seat. Myself, Tony Robbins, and 14 other guests over 5 days, about 2 hours a day, for free, are going to pull back the curtain and show you how to thrive in these uncertain times, how to enter or scale inside the digital economy, the information age. You do not want to be left behind when the world opens, and we don't want you left behind. This is one of those once-in-a-lifetime opportunities where all of us are coming together for free to share with you these capabilities. So what do you got to do right now? Go to ownyourfuturechallenge.com. Reserve your spot. Secondly, send the link to a friend. Get an accountability partner. Third, you should pretend you paid $5,000 for this, because in any other world you would. This isn't some rah-rah session. This is an amazing 5-day challenge to inspire you, to motivate you, but also give you the tools and the tactics to thrive in this virtual digital economy. I promise you, if you've never thought about it, you want to be there. If you're in this industry, you must be there. Ownyourfuturechallenge.com. We'll see you on May 11th.